This is your homework helper, Mrs. Anderson. Today I will help you with Lesson 9, Place the First Digit. Please have your homework page ready and let's begin. Okay, when we place the first digit, what that is talking about is where we put the first digit of our answer, okay, or of our quotient. So let's take a look at a couple of these together. Okay, here I have 486 and I'm going to divide by 6. The first thing I ask myself is how many times will 6 go into 4? 6 is larger than 4, so it won't go into 4. So what I'll want to do is put a placeholder, or even a 0 is fine, because 6 does not go into 4. Now I'll extend this line here, and now this time I'll ask myself, how many times does 4 go into 68? 6 times 7 is... oh, that's not going to work. 6 times 8 is 48. Oh, that's going to work. So I'm going to put my 8 right above this other 8. Basically, I'm in the tens column. I don't want a digit in the hundreds column, but I want a digit in the tens column. Now I'll multiply. 8 times 6 is 48. And now I'll subtract. This is easy. 48 minus 48 is 0. So now I'll bring down the 6 that is in the ones column, and I'll ask myself, how many times does 6 go into 6? Well, 6 times 1 is 6, so it can only be 1. 1 times 6 is 6, and when I subtract, I get 0. So the answer is 81. Okay, so the value of the 8 is 80. It has to be in the tenths column, and the value of the 1 is 1, so it has to be in the ones column. That's why we put a 0 or a placeholder here. All right, let's look at the next one. We're going to do the exact same thing. I'm actually going to come over to number 3. Number 2 is just like number 1. Okay, ask yourself how many times it'll go into the first digit. And of course, 6 isn't going to go into 3. So you're going to put a placeholder or a 0. Okay, or you can do both if you want. And then ask yourself how many times 6 will go into 39. All right, you'll go ahead and do this one. I'd like to do this one with you because it has 4 digits and it's not written in a division box yet. So I'm going to write it in a division box, and when I write it, I'm not even going to put the comma in there. I'm going to take the comma out. It just makes it a little bit easier sometimes. And please notice I left enough room up here so that my answer, the quotient, can go in there. Now I'm ready to do the problem. So I'll ask myself, how many times will 6 go into 5? It won't. 6 is bigger than 5. So I'll put a placeholder or a 0 up here. Now I'll ask myself, I'm going to extend this line and ask myself, how many times does 6 go into 59? Well, I'm going to start to do some multiplication problems in my head. 6 times 5 is 30. Oh, okay, so I need to go quite a bit higher. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 8, 6 times 9. I'm going to have to go clear to 6 times 9. 6 times 9 is 54. It's really important that I stay nice and straight in my columns. Now I'll subtract. 9 minus 4 is 5. And 5 minus 5 is 0. Okay, now I'll bring down the 2. How many times will 6 go into 52? Well, 6 times 9 was 54. That's going to be too much, so let's do 6 times 8. 6 times 8 is 48. So now I'm going to subtract. 2 minus 8. I can't do 2 minus 8 because 2 is smaller than 8, so I'll need to borrow. 12 minus 8 is 4, and 4 minus 4 is 0. And now I'll bring 0 down. How many times will 6 go into 40? 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. And now I'll subtract. 0 minus 6, I can't do that. 0 is too small, so I'm going to need to borrow. 10 minus 6 is 4, and 3 minus 3 is 0. I don't have any numbers to bring down, and this is my remainder. So I write a capital R, remainder 4. Okay, so what's important on this one is that the 9 is under the hundreds place, above the hundreds place because it means 900. The 8 is above the 2 because it's in the tens place. The 6 is above the 0 because it's in the ones place. All right, let's look at the problems on the back. The phone company needs 420 poles to repair the telephone lines. Each truck holds 6 poles. How many trucks will they need? Well, if I take how many poles there are, and then divide by how many poles each truck will hold, that'll tell me how many trucks I need. So I'm going to write 420 right here, divide by 6, and I'm going to make sure that I have enough room up here to write my answer, my quotient. Okay, or it may even work better to write it over here because you might run out of room. Okay, and I need to be able to read it. So this is probably a better place to work it out. All right, number 5. The festival committee has $1,544 to spend on pies for the pie eating contest. Ooh, that sounds fun. If each pie costs $8, how many pies can the committee purchase? I'm going to take this number, how much money they have, and divide by 8 so that I know how many pies they can purchase. A group of 273 people take a canoe trip. Each canoe holds 3 people. How many canoes will the group need? Write an equation to find the unknown and then find the unknown. So when we write in a division box like this is an equation. So that's what you're doing on this one. Take the number 273, the people going on the canoe trip, and divide by 3 how many people will fit in each canoe so we can find out how many canoes will be needed. All right, let's look at number 7. Which one doesn't belong? Circle the expression that does not have a 2-digit equation. Okay.
Mrs. Anderson, would you send Kevin Cruz down to the activity room to the dentist?
Yes, I can get him in just a couple minutes. He's at recess.
Great.
Okay. All right, I have 519 divided by 6. Well, look at this. If I put it in a box, and I ask myself, okay, how many times will 6 go into 5? It won't. So if I go, how many times will 6 go into 51, and then get the answer, I can see I'm going to have a number here and a number here. So the answer to this one is going to be 2 digits. Okay, now I'll do this one. 915 divided by 7. How many times will 7 go into 9? Yes. So I am going to have a digit here. Okay, I'm just going to write D for digit. 7 into, and if I have a digit here, I'm going to have a digit here, a digit here. Oh, look at that. So if the divisor can go into the first number of the dividend, then I'm going to have 3 digits. But in this one, 7 doesn't go into 4, so I'm not going to have a digit right there, but I will have a digit here and I will have a digit here. So if the dividend won't go into the first digit, my answer, my quotient's going to be 2 digits. But if my divisor will go into the first number of the dividend, then I'm going to have 3 digits. All right, let's look at number 6. A glass company ships 470 glass ornaments. Each box holds 5 ornaments. How many boxes will the company need? All right, the glass company has 470 ornaments, and each box will hold 5. So how many boxes will I need? I'll need to do the division to find that out. So I'll want to write 470 divided by 5, and then figure out the answer. Thanks for watching this homework helper video. If you have questions, feel free to ask me tomorrow at school.